It was late afternoon when Emma's car broke down on the side of an empty road, her phone barely clinging to 1% battery. The nearest gas station was miles away, and the sun was starting to sink behind the trees. As luck would have it, or so she thought, the rumble of engines grew louder. A group of leather-clad bikers pulled up, circling her like vultures. Their grins weren't friendly. "Looks like you're all alone out here, sweetheart," one of them sneered, stepping off his bike and cracking his knuckles. The others chuckled darkly, slowly closing in. Emma's heart raced. She backed up against her broken-down car, her mind scrambling for options. But before anyone could lay a hand on her, a calm, deep voice echoed through the air. "Hey, I think you boys are in the wrong ring." The bikers froze, glancing around confused. Where had that voice come from? A shadow stepped out from behind a tree, and as the figure came into the light, the bikers' cocky expressions drained away. It was John Cena. 6 feet of muscle, attitude, and pure wrestling legend stood between Emma and the gang. The lead biker tried to bluff his way through. "Who the hell are you supposed to be?" Cena just smiled. "You won't see me coming." In a flash, he closed the distance. One punch sent the first biker sprawling. Another swung a chain, but Cena ducked and delivered his signature attitude adjustment right onto the dirt. 2 more lunged, only to be caught in a double clothesline that left them gasping on the ground. The last one, realizing the odds had flipped, jumped on his bike and sped away, but not before Cena gave the back tire a solid kick, sending the bike skidding off the road. When the dust settled, Emma could hardly believe her eyes. Cena turned to her, offering a reassuring smile. "You okay?" "Yeah, thanks to you," she stammered, still stunned. "Glad I was in the neighborhood." He gave her a playful wink and, with one last glance at the groaning bikers, pulled out his phone. "Now let's call you a tow truck and the police for these guys." From that day on, Emma always told the same story, the time she met John Cena, and how the man you can't see showed up when she needed a hero the most. The sun dipped lower as the wailing sound of police sirens approached. John stood calmly at Emma's side, arms crossed, as the bikers groaned and tried to sit up, bruised, battered, and completely humiliated. When the sheriff's car finally pulled up, 2 deputies jumped out, guns drawn, expecting trouble. But the moment they saw who was standing in the middle of the road, the older deputy lowered his weapon and chuckled. "Well, I'll be damned. Cena, I should have known." John just nodded. "Evening, Sheriff. These gentlemen here were bothering the young lady. I suggest they spend the night somewhere less comfortable than the open road." The deputies cuffed the bikers one by one, trying hard not to laugh when they noticed the fear in the tough guy's eyes. One biker, still wincing from the attitude adjustment, muttered under his breath, "How are we supposed to know John freaking Cena was out here?" The sheriff turned to Emma. "You all right, miss?" Emma nodded, her nerves finally settling. "Yeah, if he hadn't shown up, I don't know what would have happened." The sheriff tipped his hat. "Lucky for you, Cena's got a knack for being in the right place at the right time." Later at the diner, John and Emma sat in a corner booth, mugs of hot coffee steaming in front of them. The old jukebox played a soft country tune as Emma finally let out a small laugh. "I still can't believe it. You're just wandering around the countryside, saving strangers?" Cena shrugged, flashing that signature grin. "Nah, just helping when I can. Right place, right time. Besides, I like the quiet roads." Emma smiled. "Well, you've got one more fan now." Just then, the diner door creaked open. Another man walked in tall, wearing a hoodie and dark sunglasses. He moved slowly toward the counter, ordering a coffee without looking up. John's gaze sharpened. Something about the man's posture made his instincts tingle. "Stay here," Cena said quietly, rising from the booth. Emma tilted her head, confused. "What is it?" John didn't answer, he just walked toward the counter. Because trouble wasn't quite over yet. The air in the diner shifted. That easy, post-rescue calm vanished the moment the man in the hoodie ordered his coffee. John Cena's instincts, sharpened from years of both wrestling and real-world encounters, told him this guy wasn't just another traveler. The man finally glanced up. His eyes met John's. A slow smirk spread across his face. Well, the stranger said. "I was hoping to run into you." John tensed, muscles coiled like springs. "And you are?" The man casually reached into his pocket, and for a split second, the entire diner seemed to hold its breath. John stepped forward, ready to disarm him. But instead of a weapon, the man pulled out a worn, black leather glove. "Name's Cole. You took out my crew on the road." He nodded toward the parking lot. "I was riding with them. You must have gotten there before me. Emma, overhearing this, stiffened in her seat. John lowered his voice. You've got two choices, Cole. Walk out of here, or we finish this. Cole chuckled darkly. You must think I'm dumb. I didn't come for round one. He gestured out the window. John glanced outside. Parked across the street were 3 more bikes, and their riders weren't here for coffee. They're waiting for the signal, Cole said, standing slowly. So, hero, what's it gonna be? John looked at Emma, who sat frozen in the booth. Then he looked back at Cole and cracked his neck. I was hoping you'd say that, John muttered. In one smooth motion, John slammed Cole's head into the counter, knocking the fight right out of him. The diner erupted in shock, but John was already moving. He turned toward the door, stepping outside before Cole's friends could react. The bikers outside revved their engines, clearly prepared for a fight, but they weren't prepared for John Cena. Within moments, fists were flying, helmets were cracking, and boots met gravel. John's strength and speed were unmatched, and before long, the bikers were sprawled across the lot, moaning in defeat. Cole, still dazed inside the diner, tried to stand, but Emma had grabbed a coffee pot and stood her ground. You might want to sit this one out, she warned. As the last biker hit the pavement, John walked back inside, brushing dirt off his sleeves. Sheriff's already on his way, Emma added, holding up her phone. John gave Cole one last look. You boys really ought to do your homework. Next time you pick a target, make sure John Cena's not around. Later that night, with the bikers hauled off for good, Emma sat on the diner steps beside John, the stars blinking softly overhead. So, she said, do you just wander around saving people like some kind of invisible superhero? John chuckled. Nah. Right place, right time, and a little luck. Emma smiled. Well, the world could use a few more people like you. John stood, stretching his arms. Maybe. But for now, it's just me. With that, he gave her one last wink and disappeared into the night, as quietly as he'd arrived. Because after all, you can't see him, but he's always there. A few weeks passed since that wild night at the diner, but Emma hadn't stopped thinking about it. Every time her mind wandered, it always went back to the same thought. What if John Cena hadn't been there? But fate, or maybe luck, wasn't finished with her story just yet. One quiet afternoon, Emma had finally saved enough to replace her old, beat-up car. New wheels, fresh tires, engine humming like a song. She was driving back from the same diner, windows down, the wind in her hair, feeling like things were finally normal again. But on a long stretch of road, the sound of engines once again grew behind her. This time, though, it wasn't the same gang. These bikes were faster, meaner, and riding in a tighter formation. She glanced in her mirror, her stomach twisting. A black motorcycle with red flames pulled alongside her. The rider tilted his helmet up slightly, revealing a cruel smirk. You thought it was over, didn't you? Emma's heart skipped. These weren't just random bikers. They were part of a bigger crew, the Steel Vipers, and word about the girl Cena saved had clearly spread. Her phone was out of reach. Her car wasn't fast enough. The bikers started boxing her in, slowing her down, making her heart pound. But just when the leader raised a gloved hand, signaling for his crew to strike, a black SUV roared onto the road, cutting right between them. The passenger window rolled down. A familiar voice called out, "Looks like you could use a tag team partner." Emma's jaw dropped. It was John Cena. Again. The SUV slammed on the brakes, forcing 2 of the bikes to swerve off the road into a ditch. Cena leaped out before the vehicle even stopped moving. One of the bikers lunged at him, and Cena spun, delivering a lightning-quick elbow that knocked the man cold. Emma quickly pulled her car over and scrambled out, standing beside John as the remaining bikers revved their engines and circled them. You with me? He asked, glancing at her. Emma nodded. Yeah, let's finish what they started. John grinned. That's what I like to hear. The showdown, it wasn't just a rescue this time, it was a fight. Emma ducked and swung a tire iron at one biker's knee, while John handled the rest like a man on a mission. One by one, the Steel Vipers fell. Exhausted, bruised, but standing tall, Emma turned to John. Why do I get the feeling this isn't the last time I'll be seeing you? John chuckled, helping her dust off. Because trouble never takes a day off. Later that night, as the sheriff loaded the latest batch of wannabe tough guys into patrol cars, Emma leaned against the hood of her car. You know, John, maybe I should just stick close to you from now on. John flashed his trademark smile. Or maybe it's time you learned a few moves of your own. She raised an eyebrow. Are you offering to train me? Cena nodded. Next time, you won't need me to show up. You'll be the one doing the saving.